Positive mental attitude against all odds. Tom Dempsey's inspiring football journey. Tom Dempsey was an American football player born on January 12, 1947, who became one of the most successful place kickers in NFL history and who broke multiple records, one of which stood for 43 years without being broken. This would not be such an unusual achievement story if it wasn't for the fact that Dempsey was born missing all his toes on his right foot and the fingers on his right hand. Come along on this journey as we find out how a disabled child used his adversity as a driving force and how he employed the rule of positive thinking and several principles of success to achieve his dreams. Tom was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but shortly after his birth, his family moved to Southern California. He was gifted with determined and encouraging parents who taught him a positive mental attitude from the get-go. His parents never allowed him to use his disability as an excuse. Dempsey's father especially encouraged him to think creatively and to find new ways of achieving his goals. It was his father who taught him to never say can't, becoming one of the most inspiring forces in young Dempsey's life. Due to a constant cultivation of positive mental attitude from his parents, Tom would show his potential and foreshadow his future success as early as middle school, when he would shock his classmates by performing one-handed chin-ups on the playground bars. Tom continued to excel in multiple sports, including baseball, wrestling, track, and, as we will soon learn how, football. From a very young age, Tom was fascinated by football. He had a burning desire to play, and he wanted to prove himself despite his disability. As mentioned, both his parents were very encouraging to the young child, and it showed. In his mother's words, he was always a happy child. He never let anything bother him. The book Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude by Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone delves deeper into Tom's football practice before he became a worldwide phenomenon. Because of his burning desire to play the sport, his parents had an artificial foot made for him. It was made of wood and encased in a special stubby football shoe, allowing the boy to kick. Day in and day out, Tom would be kicking the ball. He aimed to make field goals, and when he achieved that, he started kicking from greater and greater distances. He became so proficient that, despite his physical disability, at the age of 22, he was drafted for the New Orleans Saints. He had signed with the San Diego Chargers as a free agent already, but was cut just before the season started. Tom did not let this minor setback discourage him. He kept a positive mental attitude, and that's when he decided to try out for the Saints. Because he was such a good kicker, he earned a spot on the roster. He played for the Saints for 2 seasons, from 1969 to 1970, and became a fan favorite almost instantaneously. Tom kicked the famous 63-yard field goal on November 8, 1970, in the last 2 seconds of the game, securing a dramatic 19-17 win for the Saints. This was one of the most iconic victories in NFL history, and his record stood undefeated for 43 years. But this was not even Tom Dempsey's first NFL record, and it wasn't the last either. He was the first player in the NFL to make a field goal of 50 yards or more in 3 consecutive games in 1969, the year prior to his 63-yard record. He was the first player in NFL history to make 6 field goals in a single game, which he did against the Detroit Lions in 1971. Tom was the first player in NFL history to make a field goal of 55 yards or more in both conferences, which he did with the New Orleans Saints in the NFC and the Houston Oilers in the AFC. Tom was also the oldest player in NFL history to make a field goal of 50 yards or more, which he did at the age of 42 with the Buffalo Bills in 1979. But what does all of this mean to me, you may ask? And the answer is Nothing. Unless you yourself want to develop the habit of recognizing, relating, and assimilating the universal principles of success used by Dempsey as your very own. Tom's story of resilience, perseverance, and determination serves not only as an example of what one can achieve with a positive mental attitude and a burning desire, but also as a testament that we are all born achievers. All we must do is choose a goal and stick to it until we see it to fruition. Let's dive deeper into the principles of success Tom Dempsey used along his journey and see how we can implement them as well. The first and foremost is his burning desire. His desire to play football was so strong, almost as if he was born with it. As W. Clement Stone writes, greatness comes to those who develop a burning desire to achieve high goals. Tom's goals were certainly high. He wanted to play sports, and not any sports, but football. He wasn't born with everything he needed to play the sport, but he did not let that get in the way. His burning desire was so overwhelming that he found ways to overcome his physical restraints. Success is achieved and maintained by those who try and keep on trying with PMA. Tom had a positive mental attitude throughout his entire life. His parents were the first to cultivate this for him. Not everyone loved Dempsey, even at the peak of his career. In Tom's words, "I had a lot of people tell me I couldn't do it. I had a lot of people laugh at me." That did not stop him in any way. He stayed focused and grew more resilient with each attempt to bring him down. Dempsey recognized his disability. He did not deny it, but he kept his positive mental attitude all throughout his career and life. He sustained various injuries while playing. He suffered a blood clot in his leg, a broken wrist, broken jaw, ruptured disc in his back, and even a stroke. He did not let this alter his positive thinking. To become an expert achiever in any human activity, it takes practice, practice, practice. Tom had been practicing football since he could walk. There was no waiting on anything. He knew he wanted to play football, and so he did. He practiced until he could make field goals, and then he practiced making them from greater and greater distance. Tom Dempsey practiced until he became the Tom Dempsey we know, and he kept practicing still. This teaches us that no matter what you want to achieve, it takes practice, and practice goes beyond achieving your goal. You must keep practicing to maintain what you have already achieved. Effort and work can become fun when you establish specific, desirable goals. Your goal can't be random or low effort. You can't just choose something as your goal because someone else is doing it, or because you think you might like it, or that it's generally a good goal to have. You must feel strongly about your goal, and you must be very specific. Tom didn't just say he wants to play any sport. He wanted to play football, and he wanted to be good at it also. That was his goal, and he kept that in mind wherever he went. Achieving his goal didn't feel like a battle. It was a way of living. Despite all the criticism he received, Tom continued to love the game. He maintained a positive outlook in life and continued his path of becoming one of the greatest NFL place kickers. He loved and cherished every second of it. Choose a goal that makes you feel alive. With every adversity, there is a seed of an equivalent or greater benefit for those who are motivated with PMA to become achievers. Tom's greatest adversity was being born without toes on his right foot and no fingers on his right hand. His positive mental attitude helped him overcome the physical challenges by wearing a modified shoe, although not everyone was accepting of this solution. The shoe he wore helped him kick the ball with more power and accuracy, but it also generated controversy and criticism from some people who thought it gave him an unfair advantage. Can we really call this advantage unfair to someone who was born with half a foot? Or is this the seed of benefit inside the adversity? Besides, it is important to note that ESPN Sports Science even analyzed his famous 63-yard field goal and determined that his modified shoe gave him no advantage. In fact, the smaller contact area increased the margin of error. And this eases us into the next principle. Man's greatest power lies in the power of prayer. The power of prayer is really the power of thought. Whatever you are thinking about, you are inadvertently praying for. Tom kept his mind clear of all negative thoughts. As mentioned earlier, not everyone saw Tom for the greatness he had shown, but that did not alter his positive thinking. He stood straight in the face of criticism, and he achieved more than anyone in his shoes could have ever asked for. As Napoleon Hill stated, we must keep our minds on the things we want and off the things we don't want. That is the power of prayer. Tom Dempsey's inspiring story is a testament to the power of positive thinking and how, using simple principles of success, one can rise above any adversity, even when they were born with it. Join us as we continue studying unconventional success stories that delve into the aspects of positive thinking. Our goal is to inspire and call to action. We believe that we are all born with greatness within. All we must do is choose a goal and let it unfold in front of our eyes. Subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video. We hope it inspires you to become your greatest self.